Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we review anything and everything. And today we are taking a look at the Star Wars Mission Fleet Firespray, also known to many as the Slave One Boba Fett ship. And this is one of their larger ships in their line. They have the small sets, the medium sets, and the large sets. And this is one of their larger sets. And I think that it's amazing. I think that this is a set in which it's one of the best display models and details you could have of this ship for this price. The retail price goes for about $40, but sometimes you can catch it for a little bit less. Unfortunately, this line is discontinued, so they aren't going to be making it anymore. Hasbro's not making it anymore. I hope they would end up continuing. As I mentioned in previous other review videos of this line, I think the scaling and the size of it is perfect, right in the middle. It's not too small, it's not too big. It allows them to have large size spaceships while still having playable size figures. And there's a certain warp scale I'm going to get into, but pretty much 2.5-inch figures. The size of the scale outside of the ship, the proportions of all the ships are proportionate within themselves, but then the interior will be designed for the 2.5-inch figure scale size, which meaning that, for example, in this ship, this should be holding several characters on the inside, but it's made to hold one character inside, but at least the outside still looks like the full type of design of the ship. Maybe not the full size and scale, but in terms of the proportions. So I have it on a stand right now. I am going to first move it aside, and I am going to show you the box art. So I am not going to get all of this into frame, unfortunately, because it's very, let me see if I can angle things a little differently and try to get things a little more into frame. So you can see the box cover, the box art. I think it looks amazing. This is actually from the Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett show is what inspired this line. You can see right there, you have what used to be Jabba the Hutt's palace is now Boba Fett's. You can see the box art. It looks very nice, very detailed. Everything that comes on it comes with it. So you've got the little cannons or blasters down here, a hole to attach. That's exactly how the ship is. So it's nice to do a render of what you're getting. Little holes right here to attach these side cannons, which could be moved to other locations, but you have them here on the wings. And then you have Boba Fett there in his cockpit seat. Box art on the side shows how the thing plays, things open up and whatnot. Pause the video if you need to see things that I skip over very quickly. I know you can't see the dimensions on here, but it says 11 inches by 10.5 inches. So it's as long as it is wide, pretty much because of the wings. You got two external attachable blasters. You have his backpack with the rocket on top, which obviously doesn't come off, but at least it's his traditional jetpack with rocket, because he's one of the only ones who has that in the Mandalorian show, actually, and in his show. Obviously, the Boba Fett figure and his traditional rifle or shotgun, whatever you want to call it, rifle, and the name Firespray, which obviously we all know is the Slave One, but they changed the name. Well, I wouldn't even say they changed the name. That's actually the name of the ship itself. Just like how Millennium Falcon has the name of what ship it is, the Millennium Falcon is what I'm having a brain fart right now. Han Solo calls it. So this right here is the name of the actual ship. He calls his personal name of the ship the Slave One. So just putting that out there to be clear. Starship Skirmish is what it's called. I guess they give a name to it like it's an event. Okay, so now we're gonna put the box aside. I know we're stretching this video a bit now, and I want to hold this up. Let me adjust the camera again, because this is very big and it's hard to fit completely into frame. So I want to try to see if I can do this with holding it up and give a sense of the scale and the scope of this right here. You know what? I'm I'm sorry, again, I'm gonna have to adjust the camera again because I want to try my best to get a sense of how big this ship looks next to him. I think it looks huge. Here we go here. I think it looks huge next to a regular figure, to the point where, and one thing I want to comment too about this ship is this ship, surprisingly, I feel, and other people may not, they may or may not agree. Let me just make sure everything is intact here. Okay. They may or may not agree, but I feel that this ship in canon, in the movies, in the medium, you know, the animes, anything you watch the show in, watch this ship in, I'm sorry. I feel that this is one of the most warping size ships. What I mean by that is sometimes you look at it and it looks like it's the same scale you're looking at here. Other times you see it and it looks huge, where it looks like it's almost like 2 times bigger. When you saw it chasing Obi-Wan in the Attack of the Clones movie, at that point it was Jango Fett's ship, but it was the same ship. It looked a lot smaller, and it looked like, okay, you had room for him and his son inside the cockpit area, and it wasn't that big. Then you have scenes where you see it in the Book of Boba Fett show and in the Mandalorian show, where they show the interior and it has like a back room. It's got, you know, a front area for the cockpit. The back room has seats for like 4 people. It's really a lot of room. So with that, you could play with the idea that this size works for it completely. Let me adjust the camera back a little bit so we can see everything on the ground, and you could see, like I said, to me it looks very nice in scale. You could imagine him walking up the ramp. Now they have an interior here, and I'm going to get to that in a moment, but they also give you this. So for a bigger ship, they at least give you that, because there's really no other interior space here, which I think is sad. They could have, I think, reworked this to like open up and give like a little space for, you know, a little back room, but it's still not bad for the money. Now, this right here is supposed to simulate if he was to walk up someone in carbonite, you'd be able to take another figure, lay them back here like this, and then you can close it like if he has someone who's frozen in carbonite. So that's a cool feature. But then also, I like to look at that as, if you're not thinking of it like that, you could think of it as, hey, you know, he's got an extra passenger inside the ship, so you can hold someone else inside the ship. So that's another play feature too. If, you know, your kids or someone's thinking of it like that, like, hey, you know, I want to put someone else in the ship, cool, it holds 2 people in the ship. And if you check out my review on the Razor Crest, obviously that has more interior space, but that's more of like an empty shell type of design, where this one has a lot more things going on, and it has this more, I don't want to say intricate design, but it definitely doesn't have a lot of interior space because of its angles and whatnot. But it's cool. So you can simulate that to be a place for him to, you know, having other people go in it. Now, first I'm going to show you the interior before I show you the mechanics of how this thing works. Let me see if I can get some light inside there. So you can see here, it's kind of cool. There's some detail in the seat. You got the controls, the control panel too. There is some space back there. So I will say this. If somebody so wanted to modify and you know, I can't get a great angle on there, but if someone so very much wanted to modify, they could literally take that whole seat out. Yes, you would lose the feature that I'm going to show you how it spins, and you'd have all that interior space to probably fit like 4 or 5 guys inside there standing up. So that's another factor too. If someone said, hey, I just want this ship to have interior space, but because this ship is so iconic with having the rotating seat, you know, I don't think no one will want to do that. But I'm going to show you here as the play feature. You put him in it, and then as it goes upright, and I'm going to leave the windshield down so you can see it, it spins. So there he goes, and then when it parks down, you know, he adjusts with it. So you have the moving seat, which is cool. I'm sorry that doesn't fit completely in frame of the camera, but this is a very big ship. Then the wings here, now this has been played with, so it's not as sturdy as it used to be, but when you would come from the ground position like that, and your guns here would be away. These things right here are actually simulate. Before I get to what I was going to say here, I'm going to sidetrack a little bit to say these blasters here in the movies or in the media in general, the Star Wars media, Star Wars lore, there are compartments here where blasters come out. And obviously they wouldn't be this big, but like I mentioned in other videos, for certain weapons and certain blasters come with it, they're intentionally purposed where that's where they would actually go. Even though you can put them here, you could put here if it's, you know, if it's like to face that way, but they actually would go here. They would come out of here, compartments. And so actual movie lore. But anyway, what I was going to get into was when this would rise and he would now turn his ship, these things can rotate like that. So even though it's not automatic, like in certain different types of toys that they have, it's cool that it's actually, you can do it manually, move this while that moves. And now he is facing and coming forward like he's done in the movies, where his cannons will come down here and he would just be, you know, flying around, blasting downwards like they do inside the movies. And let me angle this up again, the camera, because it's very hard to get this all in frame. But yeah, so you could imagine that it's flying around, he's shooting. It's just a really cool ship, really good detail. You can see all the little detail on the little intricate lines and whatnot. Also to the back, it's very cool. That right here, even though it doesn't open, would be where those bombs drop that he had within episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and in his show, and in the Mandalorian show. You've got the thrusters here into the back. This one here and this one here, they're colored. Look at all the little detail. I just think it's amazing. For $40 or below $40, it is a very good display ship. It's a very good playable ship. I think the scaling works great with the line. It still looks massive standing next to him, while still, you know, being manageable, a manageable play size. I think it's amazing. Yeah, one of my favorite ships in the line. And I'm sad that the line is no longer being made. And I really wish that they would bring it back. But in the meantime, this is the Firespray. And I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Catch you guys in the next video.